Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Tasty Tidbits podcast. Get ready to receive rich, well-seasoned, and tasteful tidbits to transform your life. Each week, Dr. Tiffany comes to you with inspirational encouragement and thought-provoking interviews to help revolutionize your walk with God. Are you hungry for more of His presence? Then get ready. And now, your host, author, intuitive life coach, and pastor, Dr. Tiffany Watkins.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to Tasty Tidbits. I am your host, Dr. Tiffany Watkins, and I'm so excited to have you here on another episode on today. And I'm excited to have my special guest today, Chaya, and we're going to talk about some information that I believe will help my listeners, and that's about dating with discernment. Because that is so important in this day and time. But I want to let you know a little bit about her before we get started. Chaya is on a mission to change marriage dynamics through training women and men how to love themselves, re-empower the inner child, be honest with who is responsible for their happiness, educate them on healthy and unhealthy signs of behavior during the dating process, and ultimately feel secure and confident in making decisions on how to marry that will ensure healthy dynamics and a safe place for each to grow and fulfill their purposes. She believes it is essential to know before you make the decision and how to ensure your business or love relationships are not only good for now, but forever. So thank you for being part of the podcast today, Chaya. How are you?
You're welcome. My pleasure. I'm like, I have a lot to do in this world. Let's go.
Yes, and I am just so excited to have you here today and just really talking about some things that I think is so important, and that is dating with discernment, looking at the red flags versus the green flags, because especially in the world today and all of the opportunities to be able to meet different people, it is important to have discernment and to be able to recognize the red flags and the green flags. But even before we get started, just kind of let us know a little bit about what made you passionate about this subject and getting involved with this.
Yeah, for sure. So I was a very successful, young adult growing up. I got straight A's in my bachelor's, and then I did 2 years pre-PhD, and then I decided to go into a master's, and then I did my master's, and I got straight A's. And by the age of 27, I had 2 degrees, straight A's, a house that I owned, a cute boyfriend, a fit body. I was working out, and I thought this is like what you consider success. That's what everyone ever wants, right? But I was so successful and simultaneously sick. And I didn't understand that you can have success plus silent sickness. I was just like, everyone tells you you'll be okay if you get good grades and get a lot of money. But I didn't know how to love myself. So one day I was dating a guy, and I was so excited. He was coming over, and I hear him pull up, and I had made breakfast for us, and we were dating for a long time. I was like, this is it. I love him. And then he stumbles in, and I was so excited, like not really so thrilled. And he basically tells me that he is going to be breaking up with me so he can do drugs upstate New York, because I had always told him, choose me your drugs. And he was like, of course you, honey, baby, whatever. And to this week, that day, he was like, I'm gonna be doing drugs, so we need to break up. And I was like shocked. Like I just spent all morning getting so excited, and we were together for a while. And it was just like, he left, I cried. But I had a moment of divinity. Like, how did I attract this scene? How did I create this scenario? How did I, how am I the main character of this really unpleasant movie that just played out? That's not a movie, that's real. And so I decided at that moment to take full responsibility for my life. I could have blamed him, like, he's an asshole, he's an addict, how could he have choose drugs over me? What's wrong with him? That was the easy route. But the harder route is saying, how did I, out of all the men in the world, choose this one? He was going to abandon me. He was going to do drugs. He was not going to choose me. And of course, after the weekend, he wrote me, I'm so sorry. I want you back. I'm like, I thank God I had a moment where I realized that people aren't just going to change, even if they say they will. So I became obsessed with how 2 people choose each other, Like, let's say, Dr. Tiffany, you're with like Jack and Joe, and you're like, Jack is so my type, but Joe, he's not really my type. And let's say for this example, they look identical. They're the same hotness level for you. So what makes Joe attractive to you and Jack not? And I became obsessed with that question. How do two people choose each other? What makes one person attracted to another versus not? And then after many years of researching this at length, it's really voids,
Mm-hmm.
lots of voids that people aren't conscious of and that they are trying to fill with partners. And then they call it chemistry, connection, my person, my soulmate. It's not. It's just like the perfect match to fit your perfect void, and it feels so good until it doesn't.
Mm, wow, that is so good. And why do you think that finding the right guy um is the worst way to go about love?
Because you don't want to find the right guy. You want to find yourself first and then see who you are, what you value, what your beliefs are, what is your religion, what is your culture, what do you want to take into your kids life, where do you want to live. Once you get down to you, which most people don't sit and ask themselves really hard questions.
Mm-hmm.
um Once you get to know yourself, then you can attract. As a woman, we attract people into our life. Men are pursuers. They need to go out and be like, hey, Dr. Tiffany, I like you, can I take you out on a date? Women are not meant to be the pursuers. So for her, she's not supposed to find a guy. She's supposed to live her
Right.
most authentic, happy self, and
Mm-hmm.
then he will come to her.
Mm-hmm. And I love that you say that men are pursuers, but we see this, often now today where the women are proposing to the men. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's the saddest thing in the whole wide world, because she'll never feel wanted in her marriage. She'll never feel secure in her marriage. And when I say wanted, I mean fully wanted. When I say secure, I mean fully secure. She'll never be, her intimacy life, her sex life will always be very mediocre, if not non-existent at some point in her marriage, because she won't be able to surrender. Intimacy issues really are surrender issues. Like I value and can relax in this very sacred, safe space because I trust you and I trust that you love me and want me. And so you don't even get that, which is a big part of marriage. And a big part of relationships is just how safe do you feel? How can you
Mm-hmm.
express yourself? And I was reading Brene Brown's book, and she's like, one of the biggest ways people feel vulnerability and fear is when they initiate intimacy with their spouse. And I was thinking, that's fucking crazy because it's like, I mean, I'm happily married. I did the work. I don't preach. I literally teach people what I became an expert in and did in my whole life. And now I'm in an extraordinary marriage. But like, that's never an issue because my husband chose me. He wanted me. I am not confused about that. So for a woman to propose to a man, she's like, she's removing the very foundation that she'll need to enjoy her marriage, which is I was wanted. Out of all the gorgeous women in the world, he chose me and he wanted me and he was ready for me and he committed to me. And if you miss that point, man, you might be getting married, but there's so much insecurity that impacts the level of marriage that you have.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I always say that, and I talk with women as well. One of the biggest things that you don't want to feel is like you're alone or you're abandoned or that you're not really cared for, that you may have been the second choice or that you may have been um, just accepted. You want to be the one that is truly loved, like you said earlier. And so it's so important during that dating stage to be able to recognize those red flags and to be able to understand in the relationship if this relationship is going to be for me, like you said earlier. So, in your experience, what are some of the common red flags that people tend to overlook, in the early dating stages?
So this is what I break it down into. When you're dating and you want to see red flags, first of all, don't be the masculine, like, let me see if it's going to work out. Like, don't go forward, go feminine, go back into yourself and be a vessel for love to come into you versus wanting it to work out. And then the red flags, I would say sobriety, spirituality, and safety. So I literally just was like up all night last night, like finishing one of my little books. And I had to break this down for women because I want women all over the world just to have like a cheat code like that they carry with them. And so I created a
Mm-hmm.
little book that they can just carry with them. It's called the Mini Pink Book.
That's cute.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just for them to have in their purse next to their lipstick. And so break it down into spirituality, safety, and sobriety. Don't want him to want you on the first date or any of the dates. Like, if you're spending too much time getting dressed, making yourself look beautiful, feeling like that's why he will choose you, you're already in the wrong headspace. But when you want to go into it, just go like, do I want him? Is this the man that I want to spend the rest of my life with? Would I trust him with my small child, with my billions of dollars, whether you have billions or it's your health? They're both invaluable. Whether
Mm-hmm.
it's your kids, invaluable. But sometimes people can't see it that way. So it's like, if you had $1 billion, would you leave it with him? Is he highly moral? Is he trustworthy? And I break it down into spirituality, safety, and sobriety. So, sobriety, when you go on a first date, does he need to get drunk or high to enjoy your time? Is he taking you intentionally to a bar so he can get shit faced and not be sober and present with you? So, sobriety is a big one. And just because American society has normalized drinking, it's not normal to have addiction and alcoholism in your home.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're the one in charge of going with your flow. So sobriety. The other one is spirituality. Is he moral? Does he talk about God? Is he connected with himself? Or is he complaining about the war, the president, the other person, his job? Like, is he in a state of gratitude and godliness and the same faith as you so you can grow spiritually together? Or is he like in the past, far in the future, complaining about his ex? How, like, you know what I'm saying? He's just not present and inspiring. If this man doesn't inspire you, fucking excuse my language, run. Just run. If he doesn't inspire you, run. Because we become the people that we hang out with, especially our partners. And the last thing is safety. Did you feel
Mm-hmm.
safe with him emotionally? Like, were you able to relax, or were you like so excited, or he wanted you, or it was so like sexually based that you felt like he was trying to come on to you? Like, just ask yourself questions. Not, did he like me? Is he going to call me? Did I feel safe emotionally, physically, spiritually? Or did I feel like he was a little aggressive? Or did I feel like he had a little bit of anger issues, a little bit of control issues? Did he try to order for me? But if you ask yourself questions around safety, spirituality, and sobriety, you will get so many clear answers of whether or not you want to stay versus walk away, no matter how hot or rich the sky is.
That's so good. And a lot of times we ignore the signs, Shia. We know in the beginning, if you really sit back and just like you said, you don't have to be masculine going into it, trying to say, okay, this is what I'm looking for, blah, blah, blah. But if you just really sit back and be observant and just listen and look at what's going on, like we're talking about, be discerning and be able to know within the inside, okay, I noticed this red flag. I noticed that, like you were saying earlier, then you'll a lot of times, know, but sometimes because of different situations, we may, rationalize why we still need to be in the relationship, but we may minimize, when we see the obvious signs in a relationship. And so why do you think that happens sometimes?
Well, women and men need love and attention. It's not a bonus to life. It's a necessity. And they did the studies with the monkeys. They gave them food and water, but if they didn't get love and attention, they died. And it's a real human need. So we need love and attention. And if we're
Mm-hmm.
not getting it, we feel really sad, depressed, vacant, whatever. So when women go out and they're not first loving themselves and they're not first giving themselves attention and they're not first saying, I love me, I got me, you don't need him, you've got yourself and God. And if he matches your life, then maybe I will consider continuing with him. But if you don't start with, I love me, I've got me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need him, I just need myself, I don't want to lose myself in a man, then you will want his love and attention like a real, thirsty child who's like, please give me water. So it's a very fundamental understanding of biology, psychology, and necessity. But love is powerful. And so a woman needs to say, I love me and I want this in my life. And I will go into this very calm and not very excited to see if he matches the love that I deserve in my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is so good. That is so good. You know, is there a personal example that you can give us where you ignored some of the red flags that led to the bigger problems? I know you said about, of course, about the drugs, but was there another one?
So many. So basically I dated addicts, like the same guy over and over again with different names and different details from 11 to around 27. So basically the same guy, different details. And it was always, and I would always say, like, just, choose me your, like, your smoke. Like when I was 11, he was like, I think 12, and like was smoking pot already. And I was like, I don't want someone who smokes pot. Choose me or pot. And then it was okay, honey. Like I won't smoke. I'll choose you. And then I was like 26, and I was like, how the f am I still saying this shit? Something is wrong with me. Something is wrong with me. It's not him. It's me. I like woke up and I was like, dang, like that's the pattern. Like there's an illness here. So
Mm-hmm.
thank God I had a friend, and she said, why don't you try going to Naranon? Nar-Anon is like AA, most people know, which is Alcoholics Anonymous for people who struggle with alcoholism. Al-Anon is for friends and family members of people who struggle with alcoholism. And Nar-Anon is like the Al-Anon to NA. It's for friends and family members of people who do narcotics, drugs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I went to the 12-step program and I realized, oh, I'm sick. I'm a codependent. I am addicted to the approval and the acceptance and the love of others. And it was an addiction. It wasn't like a big word you use. Like I didn't know how to function if someone else didn't love me or be proud of me. And American society very much feeds you that since you're little. Get a good grade, get an A, lose weight, be beautiful. Like they literally train you since you're little to shut up, be nice. And if I'm proud of you, you're a good kid. And if I'm not proud of you, you suck. And I'm going to withdraw my love from you. And so women are now raised in just these headspaces of never enoughness, attracting men who will then take advantage of their never enoughness, which are dominant, controlling men. And when I
Mm-hmm.
say dominant and controlling, I'll answer your red flag question. I'm getting to it.
No,
And
you're
I don't
good.
mean like
You're good.
thank you. And I don't mean dominant and controlling in a bad way. It just means that they have control over you. The guys I dated were sweet, gentle, affectionate, kind, spiritual, intelligent. There was nothing wrong with them. They were just completely unemotionally available for me. They were not able to be consistent or reliable
Mm-hmm.
because I was not consistent or reliable with myself. I was emotionally unavailable for me. So these weren't like bad guys, like snorting coke and shooting up heroin and like being mean to me. They were so nice to me, but also totally emotionally unavailable and not reliable consistently, which means fear, anxiety, never knowing where they are, what happened to their phone, like all of the stuff. They don't have finances stable. So the red flags for me were just not hearing myself because I wasn't close to me. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to hear myself. And if I heard myself, I shushed it because I so badly wanted him. So,
Mm-hmm.
the red flags come in all different forms, but it's like all it is you feel that this man is not the right one for you, but you so badly want it to be good because you just want to be loved. And you allow whatever is not working out to be okay because you just focus on what is working out. But I always say, and this is one of my favorite quotes, and I've said a lot of stuff. I talk a lot with my masterminds and my clients and my socials. But out of everything I've ever said, it's my favorite quote from me. If you're trying to make it work, it's not working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, that is so good. Say that again, Shania.
If you're trying to make it work, it's not working.
Mm-hmm. And people, and I'm just pausing there because I just have in my head so many times that I've known people to try to make it work. I remember being in a relationship where I tried to make it work or was just doing it because people were saying, you're too picky, you're too picky, you're too picky. even though I saw the red flags, even though I noticed, the different things that were, unfolding before the situation, but trying to listen to others and so quote unquote be level headed in the thing and not be so picky, but in the process, not ignoring the signs. And eventually I had to listen to God and I had to say, you know what? I have to choose in the end what I feel in my heart and discern to know that it's true about the individual that I'm dating, because it's just not going to work. One of the situations in a relationship that I had, they were asking me, "Are you always this ambitious?" And I can't change the personality of me being an ambitious person. So if you can't accept that, then that's going to be a problem later on in the relationship. And like you said earlier, Shaya, you have to get to the point of where you trust in the God in you, you trust in who you are as an individual, you love yourself, like you were saying earlier. You have to be confident in who you are, or we'll continue to get in relationships that compromise who we really are. And so if some of those that I know that are listening are in that compromising situation, what I know you took the program, but what other step did you take, or that listeners could take, in order to be strong enough to make that decision to start to invest in them and to listen to them?
Well, one is I recommend that they send me a DM on Instagram. I'm at Epic Love Expert. So Epic Love Expert. And just send me a DM on Instagram. I have so many resources, so many books that you can order on Amazon. That's a great start. Obviously, I have different courses and coaching for them, but or for you, the listener who's listening. um, but the first thing is a decision. You have to first make a decision. You're done being mediocre. Most people have pretty crappy marriages. Most people have pretty mediocre relationships. Most people are not at a peak state in their life consistently or even remotely close to it. So first is a decision of you're done not knowing. You have to be hungry. You have to get a little angry at the devil or the energy that wants to keep you stuck, or the people who are not really uplifting you, or the bad advice. Where you got to get a little angry of like, I am done not being in love or loved properly. So first it's like a little bit of a realization and a decision. And then the second thing is there's so many resources. Like send me a DM. I have, you can buy Louise Hay's You Can Love Yourself. Robin Norwood has Women Who Love Too Much. Melanie Beattie, Codependent No More. These are all books with millions of sold. You can buy one of my books. Like so many resources, but you won't want to do the hard work if you're focused on him versus yourself, or listening to other people versus you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's good. And I want to ask you one more question before we leave, because I think this is very important. And I was thinking about it as you were talking. And that is, I've seen a trend around a lot of women that I've come in contact with that now feel like it is their responsibility to take care of their man, or take care of everything from the house, paying the bills, and it's not like the male or the partner is in a situation where they can't do, but they're not doing because the other partner, the female, she's allowing to, just do everything and wanting to do it, and is thinking this is a great accomplishment. And I know I'm going to rattle some feathers on this, but I just wanted to get your view on that, Shaya. And what do you believe about that, and how would you address that?
I mean, a woman just doesn't know her worth if she is doing all that for everyone else. It's just like it's misunderstanding your purpose in the world and how much joy you're meant to have. If you believe in God or if you believe in goodness, like you're meant to live a good life, an abundant life, a happy life. A woman who is giving to her man and paying for bills and having the weight of the world on her, and she has the kids and the house and herself and a mortgage or a rent and the job. It's like you're gone. Like you're not here. You're like in somewhere else land. You're not present for yourself, for your kids, for your prayers, for your work. Like you're just gone. And so it's like you're not a hero for doing more. You
Mm-hmm.
are worthy of love for just being. And women really have to just say that every single day, like, I am not worthy of love by doing more. I am worthy of love by being. My kids don't need more toys. They just need me to sit with them for 20 minutes undisturbed without my phone. My kids don't need another extracurricular activity. They just need me to sit with them and take them out for ice cream undisturbed without my phone to maintain eye contact for 20 minutes straight, which most parents don't do. My husband doesn't need my body to be sexier, so I have to cut open my breasts and have my boobs protrude another 3 inches so I finally look better and I'm now hotter. Maybe I'm more worthy of love. No, like, you're worthy as is. And so for women to pay for a man, it's like she hasn't even come close to understanding her worth
Mm-hmm.
and how much good she can have and deserves to have in this world. And your past does not predict your future. Everyone is 100% effed up and everyone is 100% lovable. Some people say, well, I don't deserve this, or I don't get that because my daddy left me, or my dad was a crackhead, or my mom was here, or my mom died, and and everyone has these weird ass stories that they happen with their dad or their mom, or the crack or the death, or the this or the that, or the abuse or the drugs. Everyone has the same story in different details. Everyone's screwed up, and everyone's 100% effed up, and everyone's 100% lovable simultaneously. And therefore, you are good now, and you deserve someone who's going to give to you and fill you up. And you deserve to relax in life. Keyword relax. Try not to be in love, try to be in calm.
Wow, that's powerful. And listeners, what Chaya was saying, and it takes real looking into yourself and just really thinking about in the world, what do I really want out of life? And what do I really value about myself? And looking at those hard questions and being able to do that. But like she said, you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to go at it alone. Get resources to be able to strengthen you, to be able to help you, to be able to empower you to make the necessary decisions that you need to make. Get in an environment that will be able to support what you desire to do, but you may not be strong enough to do it. Get a strong support system, and the books that she's mentioned, and even her books, and we're going to let her talk about a little bit more about how to get in touch with her, that you'll be able to read that information and be empowered to be able to get out of the situation. I'll share this before we go, Shia. My mother, she had been in an abusive relationship even after we've grown up. She was in an abusive relationship for so many years, and it was just breaking our hearts. We were just wanting her to get out, and it was like, will she ever get out of this relationship? Because a lot of times in abusive relationships, there's a lot of fear there, and you're afraid to get out. But me and my family, we began to pray for her, but we would also, more than prayer, we would just support her and say, once you do this thing, we are here for you, for whatever you need. We'll walk you through the process. We'll take you through the court. We'll do whatever we need to do to get you to the place of where you can be free and you can be happy, so that you don't have to be in that same relationship. And I truly believe that a strong support system is a part of the process to be able to move forward. So can you speak on that, Shia, before we get ready to go?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I couldn't stress that enough. You can't do it alone. You're not meant to do it alone. Don't try to do it alone. Every addict who's tried to quit on their own is dead. Don't try to do it alone. It's not the way, God created the world and nature. If you take a penny in your hand and you open your hand, it falls to the floor. It doesn't fly up to the sky. Like, there is gravity. No matter what you want, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you think, you let go of a penny in your hand, it falls to the floor. There is nature, there is order in the world, and we are not meant to struggle alone, and we're definitely not meant to heal alone. And so for me, like, I had to rewire my brain, body, and soul to just know that I'm lovable and that I don't need to hang out with people, even if they're my family, who are hurting me. So when I went to program, like, I had to eventually get a sponsor, and I had to rewire my beliefs about men. I used to think that they were like, and I quote because I was young, It's in my journal. Dick driven. I thought they were like into your, they're just about sex. And society tells you they just want your body. They just you want them to look good. That's what they that. And then I went to program into the rooms, and they were just like women in the sense that very emotional, same fears. They just express their emotions differently, but they have the same range and depth of emotions as women. But I would have never known because society doesn't teach you that until you sit with them when they're struggling. And the men are also scared, and they also think the same things. And I had to relearn, oh, men are just as beautiful as women, just as kind, just as loving, just as emotional. And I can then therefore attract another kind, emotionally available man. I don't have to think that they're all X, Y, and Z. But I had to put myself in the rooms. I had to get new friends. I had to get a sponsor. I had to surround myself with people who were actively healing. I had to literally leave my house. I packed all my stuff, put it in storage, and with my guitar and one suitcase, I left the country when I started to heal because I was like, I will never heal if my environment is still sick. And the people that I
Hmm.
was living with were still sick. So I left to have a whole new support system and environment around me. And every addict, and the reason I say addict a lot is because when women are in addictive relationships, it is an addiction. Physiologically, it's intermittent reinforcement. And so it is the most addictive way that you can exist on earth is in Hebrew, it's called chetzi chetzi, like these half relationships, whereas sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. He hits me, but then he loves me, or he's not there for me, but he is there for me. Like that actually is the most physiologically addicting thing that you can have on earth. So it's like you have to break the pattern. The only way you break that pattern of that real addiction is getting the right support as well as changing your environment, as well as giving space. Like my mom was in an addictive marriage for an abusive marriage for so long, but then COVID hit and she got stuck in a different country and she had a break of the active addiction. It's like if you go every
Wow.
day to the slot machines and gambling, you just show up, you gamble. No matter what anyone says, you show up, you gamble. That's what you do every day. Your brain is wired. If all the slot machines are closed down and you have a month where you can't have access to them, maybe you'll have a break of an awareness of like, oh snap, this is
Hmm.
what have I been doing? But you need that break. You need a time break, an environment break to actually get some clarity, even with the right support. So it's a combination of a time break and the right support
Hmm.
and the desire on your own to actually change your life.
Hmm. Wow, Shaya, this has been awesome. This has been awesome. And I truly thank you for being able to share so many tidbits and information on how to basically become the true person that you're called to be. Because when you do that, then you will begin to attract the right person that you were eventually supposed to be with, and you won't have to chase them. But it's doing that inward work. They have a book called Mirror Talk. You go to talk to yourself. You do the work. You go through the process so that you recognize your worth, so that you recognize who you are. And so I truly value you sharing that with the listeners, because you can tell you don't just talk about it. You have gone through the process. You've experienced it. And so now you're able to share and help with others. And so you have so much to give. And I appreciate you for being able to share your experiences and also to be able to help others through their process. So with that being said, would you let the listeners know what is the best way that they can reach you?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate it. And the best way to reach me is to go to the website www.connectwithchaya, which is my name, CHAYA.com. So connect with CHAYA.com, connectwithchaya.com. And it is my calendar link, and it's to book a call. You don't have to go through fancy loops and hoops and no, just book a call and let's have a conversation. You talk to yourself all day. You might as well talk to someone who will listen and who will be able to offer you proper advice on how to get the relationship you deserve. And it's not only that I've been through it all, but I've transformed it all. I'm in an extraordinary marriage in my 8th year with children. And now
Wow.
he's part of my business where he helps me with the back end of all the coaching, like the marketing, the funnels, the sale, the all the tech of it, because he's in tech. So it's like, women sometimes see the stories, but they don't have the end result. Like, not that this is the end result, but this is a truth that being loved, and my husband loves me so much. Women don't even understand the power of being loved, and most women don't get it. And that breaks my heart, and that drives me to continue going. So
Mm-hmm.
for every single woman listening, you deserve to be treated like a queen, to be loved, to be wanted, for someone so excited to see you every day, for someone to be sad when you leave, like actual love. It's real, and it's very much possible when you learn how to love yourself so you can attract that same type of unconditional love back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So listeners, please, 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 please go to her website, check out her information, and we'll also have it in the show notes so that you can also reach her directly. And I've been calling her Chaya the whole time, pronouncing her name wrong, and it's Haya. So I'm sorry, Chaya.
It's
But
okay.
yes,
It's all
yes.
good. It's all good.
But you can go to and check out her information and get books and resources to be able to help you along this journey to be the best person that you can be and to love yourself and be able to advance in a life where you're happy and excited and have joy and not miserable in relationships and not really experiencing truly who you are. And so we thank you for being a part of the podcast today, Haya. We are so glad to have you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And listeners, we are so glad you came today. Make sure to check her out. And until next time, God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Tasty Tidbits. If you're enjoying the show, feel free to subscribe, rate, and share with your friends. To learn more about Dr. Tiffany, check her out on Linktree at dr.tiffanywatkins or visit her website, iridescencebytiffany.com. Until next time, stay blessed.